So, Vignette, I feel like she goes through a lot of pain and a lot of tumult.
Yeah, he does.
So I was just wondering, like, how do you kind of find the moments of joy or brevity or light in her life as you're playing her?
I think the part of Vignette that's the most beautiful is no matter how much adversity she faces, she doesn't ever feel crushed. She always has hope. She always feels love. She's always searching for freedom and she doesn't ever give up. The future in her mind is always going to work out no matter what she has to do. And I think in season 2, she realizes that her method doesn't work and she has to be darker. She has to become more gritty. She has to become a leader to be able to face what she has to face. But within that, I think she finds strength, which is really important because I think a lot before she felt probably like she would put other people's needs before her own, even if it wasn't serving the people she was fighting for. So this time she doesn't do that.
Yeah. And so, as you're both an actor and an executive producer on the series, what do you think you'll miss most in both of those roles, as an actor and as a producer, being involved with this show now that this is the final season?
I think it was so nice to be an executive producer, have that title. A lot of season 1, I was very involved in certain things. And I think to have that kind of title makes you feel more validated to be able to tell ideas, which I would do a lot in season 1. But season 2, it was interesting because I would get spoken to on one hand as an actor and one hand as an executive producer. So my answers would sometimes be different depending on who I was advocating for. But I don't know, just being part of this show, there were so many elements, there's no book that it's based on. There's no kind of setup that we knew how to follow. So there were so many elements that we could decide and discuss. So being involved in that creatively was incredible. But I'll miss this part. It's a bittersweet thing for me, finishing this show. I love that character so much.
Yeah. And is there something you learned like through this experience, through these 2 seasons, that you think you'll take with you on future projects?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's so much of Vignette's character that I didn't have, that I wanted to emulate. Her strength, she doesn't play a victim. There was a lot of times I think in my own life that I would like just self-pity or never feeling good enough. And Vignette doesn't have time for that. She just is constantly like, I'm gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that heart that I think, and that kind of self-belief and self-love that I've learned to kind of learn for myself. It's a journey, that kind of thing. Yeah, also being hopeful, there's always a bright side to everything. And she kind of somehow manages, even in this show, to find it. So she can do it. So can I.
It's a good outlook. And is there anything, you have these 2 great seasons, but is there any kind of thing you wish you could have done with Vignette's character if this had been like, 5 season plus show and all the adventures she could have gone on? And
I was always interested how fairies had babies. Were they like birds? Did they lay eggs? Was it
yeah.
like a cocoon? Cocoon. I never thought I'd say that word in this, but so that to me was interesting. But like the way that it ends for me is the perfect way I wanted the season to end for Vignette and wanted the show to end. So yeah, no, I wouldn't really change anything. But that was always a query for me, for sure.
And then did you get, I feel like Vignette's like design, like her costume, her hairstyle, just the way she carries herself is so kind of, it really sticks out in the way she's designed. It's like, how was that kind of for you, like with the braids and, the changes she goes through, like embodying that character?
I think becoming part of the Black Raven and like even just the look, what she wears becomes more, she's part of like a rebellion military almost. So like that changes, it's funny that when she gets a bit darker and grittier that her hair darkens. I mean, I just think it's like very obviously like part of it. But yeah, every element of that costume was so helpful to getting into character, just the process of it all, the changing into it all, because there's a lot of layers involved. And yeah, I mean, the way that they designed the costumes were just brilliant, and all the props, it helped so much with that.
Yeah. And then I guess if you could have the fairy wings, would you?
In real life, could I
Yeah.
fly? Yes.
Well, if you could choose to have them.
If I could choose what? An
If
animal?
you could choose to have the fairy wings in real life.
Yeah, but like, so I would be a fairy.
Yes.
Yes, obviously, for sure. I would like it if they could retract into my back, so it wasn't so obvious that people would be like, "Oh, you're a fairy," because then if there were other fairies, like just like hang loose, you know. But yeah, I'd love to I'd be like a taxi service for my friends. Take my friends on a trip. No, be cute.
Yeah,
I would need to fly again. It'd be great for the environment. Love that.
yeah, I know whenever she's running and like their wings are like hitting people, I'm like, I feel like if you could just pull those in, you know.
Yeah.
Great.
I was
Well,
wondering if you had to do a long haul flight, would you have to like eat while she flying to like keep the energy going?
yeah, I don't know the way, the physiology of it at all.
We
but-
don't know. We don't know. No one knows.
Well, they're giving me the time, but it was so nice to talk to you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I love the swans on the wall as well.
Thank you, Leila. Very, very appreciated. Flying.
Yeah, it's a good theme, and the stuffed animal too.